Hello, good morning. Salam, Sabah al-Hir. We are in Baku, Azerbaijan at COP29, and it is my pleasure to be your host for the first pitch at the Buildings and Cooling Pavilion. My name is Mariana Castaño Cano. I am a journalist and climate communication expert, and I will be talking today to Balsam Neme, who is the Director for Sustainability at DAR, the founding company of the group Sidara, an international group that you may or probably don't know is behind the Al Wasal Plaza in Dubai, where we all walked last year, those of you who were at COP 2028. So they are behind this beautiful construction. Without further delay, I would like to welcome Balsam and to ask you, tell us a bit, what is Sidara and the founding company there? What is it that you do?
Thank you, Mariana, and good morning, everyone. It's such a great pleasure to meet again here at COP29 in the same pavilion that we've been sponsoring for the past 3 years. It's a great honor to be in Baku. It's a beautiful city, and there's a lot of people here. Sidara, maybe those of you that have not heard of Sidara is because it's a newly rebranded group of companies. We used to be called DAR Group, and now we're called Sidara, and I'd like to invite you all to visit our website and learn more about us. But we are a global collaborative. We do design, engineering, consultancy, and also construction supervision. We're a set of firms that span from North America all the way to Australia. We're present almost everywhere with 20,000 staff. What's nice about Sidara, and is very relevant to the context of COP, is that we have 3 pillars to our brand: sustainability, digital, and livability, all of which are key topics when it comes to COP. Now, DAR, or also Dar al-Handasa, is the founding member of Sidara and is also one of the pillars of Sidara. DAR is mainly focused in the Middle East and North Africa. This is where most of our operations are. We are an architecture and engineering consultancy. We provide advisory for sustainability for the built environment. We do have about 10,000 of our staff that are across numerous offices in the region. And again, our key drive is sustainability. That's what we try to integrate in everything that we do, and that's who we are and what defines us.
Thank you, Balsam, because you are Director of Sustainability at DAR, but you also chair the council, the Sustainability Council of the group, a big group. We are now going to hear from the CEO of the group a little bit more about the vision, this digital livability and sustainable vision. Please play the video.
Specialist firm.
We cannot hear the sound, but the colleagues are fixing it. Maybe while the colleagues fix the video, because we need headset. So actually the sound works. It's us that you know, it's like when you are on a conference call and you are mute without knowing, and you keep on going for 2 minutes. Okay, please wear your headset. Okay.
That's quite important because the sound is
yeah, it's very noisy here. Okay, so I think we can launch the video.
Just a small who founded DAR. Since then, we have grown both organically and through a series of strategic acquisitions of brands such as Perkins and Will. We are Sidara, a global collaborative of specialist firms advising and supporting some of the world's biggest and most complex design and engineering projects from inception to completion. We are committed to elevating how people live, to inspiring global impact and making room for cultures to shine. This, however, is only part of our story. A story that began over 65 years ago with just a small group of engineering professors who founded DAR. Since then, we have grown both organically and through a series of strategic acquisitions of brands such as Perkins & Will, one of the preeminent architectural firms, T.Y. Lin, a global engineering infrastructure company, Curry & Brown, a specialist in project management, and Penspen, a global energy consultancy. Together, we have crafted Sidara into the world-class global engineering and architecture group that we are today. With clients ranging from global technology and energy companies to leading hospitals, airports, and universities. We are architects, consultants, engineers, designers, project managers, and much more. We're a working global partnership powered by more than 20,000 employees, operating from over 300 offices and present in 60 countries. United, we blend global expertise with deep local roots to provide innovative solutions to even the most complex engineering and design challenges. We lead with imagination, commitment, determination, and resilience, accelerated by collaboration and with sustainability and digital innovation at our heart, generating $2.8 billion in group revenue, with over 45% from the Americas. We're a global leader in the planning, design, and delivery of airports, healthcare, and educational facilities. Top 10 in the ENR International Design Firm rankings for over 16 years. A proud signatory of the World Green Building Council's net zero carbon buildings commitment. But we are not done, not by a long way. Sidara has been entrusted with some of the world's most ambitious and iconic projects. We are proud to be building on this rich legacy, underpinned by our brands and pushing the limits of what's possible. It's why Sidara is the home for human endeavor. This is our story so far. There is so much more to be written.
So from the past into the future, for those who don't know, DAR means home. What a beautiful name for a company. I would like to understand the reasons why DAR and now Sidara is so engaged into the multilateral, multi-stakeholder process of addressing climate change. You told us, Bassam, that you've been here supporting buildings pavilion since 3 years now, and you are not just in this pavilion, but in many others activities. Why is the reason that you are so engaged?
So effectively, we've been not just supporting the Buildings Pavilion, but also the Resilience Hub. We've been heavily engaged when it comes to sustainability for multiple reasons. As the chairman has mentioned, it's first about our clients, about our projects, that we've successfully delivered hundreds of projects to sustainability that have been completed to date. But it's also about our community. It's about our people. It's about our positioning. And COP presents an exceptional platform for us to be able to advocate sustainability at all aspects. We started first a very, let's say, as a small contribution to COP26 in Glasgow. And then we felt that there's so much we can do. We felt that we have so many solutions and so many case studies to be able to talk about. And we felt that that's what the world needs, the private sector's involvement, its expertise when it comes to sustainability, to make all of these commitments actually happen. And that's why we committed ourselves to net zero. As the chairman has mentioned, we are committed to getting our own operations to net zero by 2030 through our partnership and our engagement with the World Green Building Council. So what this means is that we're walking the talk. And COP is the platform for this. Then we went to COP 27, and we attended in Sharm el-Sheikh. It was our playground there. We have our headquarters in Cairo as well. And we did thought leadership pieces that had to do with the importance of sustainability beyond buildings. So what it is to do sustainability on the vertical, but also on the horizontal, which we felt is a topic that might be a bit left behind. Then we went to COP28, even bigger presence at COP28. We were sponsors and partners at COP28. And it's another playground of ours, the UAE, where we have some prominent clients there. And it also showcased our focus on sustainability. What we delivered there was, in addition to the case studies, we had several sessions speaking and impacting on sustainability, but also we delivered thought leadership on how to decarbonize some of the most hard to abate sectors. We spoke about aviation, we spoke about the energy transition, healthcare, hospitality, and all of the sectors that are typically hard to handle. And that's why we're at COP. That's why we're here again this year, to speak about some of those sectors, to speak about some of those solutions, and to really shed the light even stronger when it comes to decarbonizing the built environment.
Thank you, Balsam. And it's clear that you are playing a leading role in this environment, in this sector, which is huge and very diverse. It is unstructured, unfortunately. The supply chain, from the conception to the operation, it's huge. There are so many actors, the owners, the developers, the designers, the builders, and then the users, all right? The communities. From this leadership position that DAR has decided to take in the climate challenge, how are you working with the rest of the value chain? What are the challenges that you find in making the sustainability journey the journey for everybody?
The challenge is big. It's quite big. But it's coming. It will come. It's picking up. So when we signed on the commitment, it's not only for operational energy, but it's also for embodied energy. So it's for whole life carbon. And when we signed this commitment, we knew, and the year that the chairman signed the commitment was in 2021, when there was an introduction of an advocacy piece to embodied carbon and the importance of the supply chain and that front, which goes back to your question. So when we came on board, we were 100% sure that we'll be advocates of the whole life carbon approach. And what we did in terms of actions on the ground is we started looking at suppliers and how to incentivize the demand for more sustainable material, especially in markets where probably this might be delayed a bit more as compared to other more advanced markets in the world, such as Europe or North America and so on. And that's where we're playing a pivotal role. That's where we're getting in contact with suppliers. We started with the UAE, eventually we'll be expanding into KSA, to start and talking to suppliers, to the supply chain, and start impacting by helping them understand the increased demand to whole life carbon. That's one. Two, we started looking at life cycle assessment. So life cycle assessment is becoming an integral part of our project delivery, helping the clients understand that it's not just about the operational energy that you save through your lights, through your cooling, etc. It's also about the materials that you specify, and that the circular economy, the materiality passport is quite important, and that's picking up as well. So as consultants, this is the role that we have signed on to play, and that we are effectively playing, and that we will play even more and more as years advance. Yeah.
The role of the built environment on the climate challenge is massive. 37% of the emissions linked to energy are provoked by the built environment, operation and construction, and embodied carbon. But the conversation often is overtaken by mitigation. We need to reduce emission, but not just. A home is a home that must protect us. And in the face of climate change, unfortunately, we are going to have even more heat waves, droughts, flash flood events, sea level rise, etc. How do you see the importance of advocacy, not just, but also embedding the resilience, the need for resilience in the work that you are doing?
So that's a topic that we started picking up on since last year because of all of the events that we've been seeing. It's not only about sustainability; it's about sustainability coupled with resilience. And resilience is probably one of the key considerations that need to be looked at. We've witnessed so many events that has happened around the world where you're probably downsizing your systems as opposed to how much temperature is increasing. We've lived some of the hottest days for the past couple of summer seasons. But also, we've lived some storm events in some parts of the world that were never seen before or have not been encountered for the past 60, 70 years. So what this means, we have to design not just to be sustainable, but also to be resilient. Resilient on power, resilient on water, resilient on all of the resources that we have. So future-proofing and catering for resiliency is a prime consideration when we build our sustainability strategy, and also is a key item that we inform our clients about, and that is part of our buildings and infrastructure approach and design and strategy.
I would like to understand better how you are going to deliver on the commitment signed in 2021. And for that, there is a little video that it's going to tell us a bit more about the sustainability goals of Sidara. I'm going to ask the colleagues to play. It's a very short but very dense and interesting video.
The next 9,000 days are a window of opportunity. That is the time frame we have to achieve net zero. The next 9,000 days are a window of opportunity. That is the time frame we have. The next 9,000 days are a window of opportunity. That is the time frame we have to achieve net zero. The climate reckoning can be an incredible incentive for all of us to come together and think, design, and act differently. As designers, planners, and engineers, we have a responsibility to create new solutions that work towards a better world.
Thinking differently means also looking at existing buildings and reimagining how we can conserve natural resources by reusing and repurposing them. It means using innovative design and engineering solutions to upgrade building systems that can lead to energy and carbon savings. And if we must deconstruct a building, focusing on circular economy principles by recovering, reusing, and repurposing materials. It's also about triggering change within our material supply chain. If our design teams and clients are able to work together and specify low carbon materials, we're able to push the industry to innovate.
Over the next 40 years, we need to build the equivalent of an entire New York City every month. How we do this will make all the difference. We can deliver more resilient, more sustainable buildings using solutions such as low impact construction materials and cutting-edge digital design techniques. Modern methods of construction, from production and assembly systems through to additive manufacturing, can reduce the environmental toll of construction. Sidara designed Qatar's Desert Nest Pavilion. the world's tallest freestanding 3D printed concrete tower. It used parametric design, reclaimed materials, and a 3D printing process that minimized construction waste. This shows that we can build sustainably even in the harshest environments.
We now must think about designing not just sustainably, but also preemptively. For example, as designers, we're no longer looking at just past temperatures. We're now looking at future projected data and designing for resilience and future fitness. And designing stormwater drainage infrastructure, for example, is now about designing for future storm events and ensuring that our infrastructure is ready for an era of climate change. That's especially important for our clients and regions with extreme climates. It's why we were able to work with stakeholders in Doha to deliver the first horticultural exhibition ever to be held in a desert climate. And that's why we're consistently delivering smart, sustainable infrastructure.
When designing or retrofitting buildings, places, it's really important that we understand it's part of a bigger, wider ecosystem. Buildings depend on water, transportation, energy supply, and they are deeply rooted within social and community aspects. In the United States, we crafted a detailed action plan guiding Seattle towards more sustainable transportation systems, while in Australia, we are guiding the renewal of the Bays Waste State Precinct in the centre of Sydney. Around the world, we are working to craft the best sustainability outcomes for our communities.
One of the most impactful ways of protecting our planet is the supply of clean energy. Here, once again, Sidara companies are providing support to an effective energy transition. In Portugal, we're working to explore how to introduce sustainable hydrogen into existing gas networks as a potential pathway towards full decarbonisation. Innovative solutions such as carbon capture technology are paving the way to decarbonising industry. At Sidara, we're supporting the UK's first low-carbon, large-scale hydrogen production hub, proving that it's possible to decarbonise even the hardest to abate sectors.
The challenges we face may be enormous. Too little time left the same old thinking, or looking at individual solutions in isolation. We need to think bigger. We need to think bolder. With commitment, breakthrough thinking, and increased collaboration, we can look towards a new era. One where buildings and infrastructure can simultaneously support our shared prosperity of growth, while also safeguarding the planet we all call home.
Days from now, there is a totem number in Sidara's vision, which is 9,000. So every day counts up to 2050 to reach a net zero built environment. But what about the 8,999 days? What are the intermediate milestones that you are implementing, that you are looking up right after COP29? What are you?
Just to add to your question, Mariana, 9,000 is not what's going to stop us. That's for sure. It's just the upcoming target that we have, the immediate one, let's say, even though it might look a bit far for others. As I've said in the video, and then I'll tap onto what my colleagues have said to answer your question, we need to think bigger and we need to think bolder. What we're doing, and that is to answer the question, is everything that was in this video at least. First, it's collaboration, so across the different sectors. We spoke about materials, we spoke about resources, we spoke about clean energy, we spoke about repurposing. Now, what's important about the 9,000 days is that the target of net zero is something that is split in two. There's 50% of it that is linked to the new build, where all of those solutions will come in place. But there's also 80% of the buildings that you see around the world that will remain there until 2050. And these also need to be purchased and or let's say efficiently retrofitted for them to be sustainable and to contribute towards that net zero. So, two-front approach that we're looking at. We're looking at how solutions can benefit and integrated within the new build. But we're also looking at, and that's through our sectors, our collaborative work, whether it's through digital approaches, through sustainable approaches, and so on. We're looking at how also we can influence the existing buildings, which will play a major role, and where we see there's not much focus that's being looked at now. So this is just to answer your question very simply. We see that the challenge is big. But we see that it is with players like us, like Sidara and its group of companies, but not us alone. And that's why collaboration is very important. It needs to start somewhere. It needs to be financed. It needs to be instigated by regulations, policies. We're starting to seeing this. We want more and more of this. And this is where we're also going to be playing a role of advocacy and impact.
Thank you, Balsam. That is why you are bringing your voice, the voice of the Sidara Group to COP29. Before we close the event, I would like to turn to the audience and see if there are questions. If you would like to take advantage of this couple of minutes that we have spare. If there are no questions, I want to wish Balsam, your amazing team, and the 20,000 that you have behind you, a very good journey for the next 9,000 days, so that the built environment of the day after tomorrow is greener and more livable. Thank you very much.